on, guys? I hope this video finds you happy and healthy. Welcome to another Fixer Upper Apartment Series video. So in this video, we're gonna update you guys on the status of our unit we're renovating, what it's currently looking like now. Josh is gonna actually take you through the unit and walk you through the whole thing and explain why the renovations have taken us so long. Originally, our move-in date into the unit was gonna be back in December originally, and then it was January, and now it's probably not gonna be until May. So he's gonna not only take you through the whole unit, but he's also gonna explain what troubles we've run into, what barriers we've run into, and why it's taken us so long. I'll link a few videos down below for those of you who aren't familiar with our fourplex and the renovations we've been doing to it. But for those of you who don't know, this unit that we're renovating right now, we're gonna be moving into once it's done. And then after that, we have the fourth unit to renovate. Once we move into the fourplex, we will refinance it as our primary residence and get a lower interest rate on it. So for those of you who are just now coming across this video for the first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you want more healthy living videos. I upload 1 to 2 videos a week based on my busy ICU nurse work schedule. All right, so let's get into the video. Like I said, Josh is gonna take you on a tour, and then the video will end with an actual, real up-to-date tour, because this tour that he's gonna take you on was filmed last week before the drywall went up. And so then the video will end with a really small tour of what the unit's looking like with the drywall up that was just taken 2 days ago. And we passed our drywall inspection, so that is an A+ for us. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and let's get into the video.
Be strong.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the video. Brittany asked me to do a walkthrough update for her since I've been dealing with most of the house-related issues. So when we left you last, I believe we had finished demolition. I think you may have seen some of the new framing. I'll kind of walk through what has gone wrong. More things have gone wrong than have gone right. So to start with, we hired an engineer to see if this this wall right here was load bearing. He came in and looked at it, told us it was, and so we decided to hire an architect. The agreement we had with that architect was that the architect would draw us plans and then help us get through the permitting process. And so we had the architect start drawing us plans. The plans were drawn, and then Brittany and I started doing the demolition ourselves to save some time and money because our contractor couldn't start until December. That happened over Thanksgiving weekend. So after we did the demo, we became pretty clear pretty fast that this wasn't load bearing, since the beams that are the rafters that run in the ceiling run this direction, and the load sits on this wall over here and this exterior wall. And so once that happened, we realized that we probably didn't need to get the city involved, but we had already done that. Once we did all the demo and the framing, the city came back and told us that we also needed permits for mechanical and plumbing. Mechanical is like your exhaust vents for your stove, your bathrooms, your heat vents, etc. And then plumbing, of course, is for plumbing. So we went back to the architect and we said, you knew we were going to be putting this washer and dryer in, you knew that we were putting a hood range in. How come we don't have drawings for mechanical and plumbing, and how come we don't have permits? And the architect said, I'll get back to you, and then didn't get back to us. So finally, I had to go out and hire a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineer to do what the architect didn't do, that they said that they were going to do. So because of that, we had to pay an extra, so we paid the architect $1,400. Then I had to pay another $1,400 for the electrical, the MEP firm, to draw the plumbing. So the plumbing is pretty limited. This is the washer and dryer hookup. This is the new plumbing stack. You can't see it, but the water lines go up here and then cut across and hook in over there. So in order to do that, and then we've also got this set up so that you can get a garbage disposal. But in order to do that, we ended up having to tear this wall down, and anytime you tear something this significant down, if the city is involved, they will make you bring it up to code. So that's R15 insulation that I had to install, which is kind of dumb because the parts of the wall that you can see that weren't touched don't have any insulation in them. So it's not really accomplishing anything. One of the problems with this building is there is some water penetration along the exterior wall because the siding is so old and it was improperly installed. So one of the nice things about not having insulation is that air travels through the wall cavity and it dries those sections out. So unfortunately now we've probably created a moisture issue by doing this. So it's going to be washer and dryer there. There'll be a cabinet above the dryer, and then there'll be a 12-inch upper cabinet and a 12-inch base cabinet. Microwave that has to vent out there. Another problem we ran into is the mechanical and electrical and plumbing firm we hired didn't rate the fans, the exhaust fans for the kitchen. And so when the inspector came in, he said, you can't use that fan. That's a bath fan, and it's got flexible ducting. You can't use it to vent your stove. So we were either going to have to buy a 300 CFM rated vent or punch another hole in the side of the wall to vent the microwave out. And if we were to do a new fan up there, it would have held us back because he would have had to come back and inspect it. So we told him, we'll just punch through straight here. So he passed us. He didn't pass us on our mechanical, but he went ahead and let us move forward. So microwave, vent hood, cabinet at the top, stove, and then another 12-inch base cabinet, 12-inch upper, and then open shelving. Dishwasher, sink, and then we have this cool cabinet from IKEA that it uses the dead space back there, so that when you pull out, it's a lazy Susan, it pulls out, so you can store stuff all the way back. And then another base cabinet, and then up here there'll be some open shelving. And then this, like Brittany said earlier, will be clear coated as like a feature wall. Behind this is our water lines that go from the basement water heater to the upstairs unit, and it also feeds that line there. So that's, I probably didn't have to insulate that, but I just did because I didn't want to hear water sounds when people turn on the water. Another thing that we weren't expecting to do was to take down all of the ceiling because the contractor started working on it and then decided that it was going to be too much of a pain to try to get his drywall straight, so he just tore it all down. But unfortunately, because he did that, I now have to put fire rated drywall up here, which is about $7 more a sheet than regular drywall. So that'll probably be 12 sheets. That won't be fun. And then same thing with here. If you do a little hole in your wall like you see over there, they'll let you patch that. But when it turns into this, you have to fire rate your drywall. One of the big problems that we had in this unit and in the whole building is obviously sound transfer. So I spent the extra time, and Brittany spent the extra time, putting mineral wool batting insulation in any cavity that could carry sound. One of the other benefits for this is it's for fire prevention. So behind this batting here is two pipes, heating pipes that go up through the ceiling, and that anybody who's near the vents upstairs and talks, you can hear all the sound that travels through there. So I put that there. We also have, before I move from this area, because we open these walls up, we also have to do what's called fire blocking. And so if there's a fire in an unseen cavity, it has to be blocked on its way up and on its way down. And so I spent probably $200 in fire caulking, and then the inspector didn't even look at my handiwork, so I was a little bit sad about that. I was very proud. You can kind of see the red stuff there. I was very proud of my fire blocking technique, but he didn't seem to care. This is the new hallway. So you come in here. One of the other issues that we have in our current house is where to put the litter boxes. And so what we did was we had this closet built specifically so we could put the cat's litter boxes. So there'll be a cool little door right here for them to go through into Mom's closet. And then there'll also be a door, another one of these right here, so they can go into Mom's closet and go from Mom's closet into the litter box. And then there will also be, if you know anything about cats, they like multiple escape routes. So either here, either there, or over there will be another one so they can go into the master bedroom. So one of the things, this is probably ridiculous, but one of the things that the cats love is to sleep with Brittany when she goes to sleep early for work. And she usually closes her door, or closes the door to the bedroom. So this will make it so that they can hang out with her. The things we do for our pets. This area here, just beyond that hole, is the floorboards for the upstairs unit. And so any footstep or talking comes right through there. So what I've done is, there's a drop ceiling here. I've sound insulated. This is that sound and fire rated mineral wool. I've sound rated all of where the wall meets the drop ceiling, and then we'll be installing 5/8 drywall, which will assist in blocking the sound. We'll also be doing a 5-inch drop ceiling, which will allow us to put more of that mineral wool across the top of the ceiling here. And that should basically eliminate all the sound coming from upstairs. So this is our closet for our jackets and your vacuum. This is sort of like we're gonna call this the linen cabinet here. It's kind of funny, after we laid it all out, Brittany and I were in here the other day and we were like, we should have made this the door to the bedroom so that you don't come off the living room. So a lot of times you'll do that. This is sort of a learning experience. You'll do something you think is brilliant, and then after you see it laid out and it's built and you're too far gone, you'll realize you probably should have done something different. Sound travels through down wood, so anytime you have wood coming down that sound could travel down it, I try to sound block that, because it just helps. And then in here, unfortunately, we had to open up the ceiling in here to get a vent out for the bath fan. Because of how large the opening is, we've now created a situation where we have to fire drywall this, so that's fun. So you'll have a sink here, a medicine cabinet here, new toilet. We're probably going to get that tub reglazed because the tile is in nice shape. It wasn't installed the way I would have installed it because they put it on standard drywall. I also added some mineral wool back here. I probably shouldn't have done this, because if there's ever a leak in the shower wall, that mineral wool, it's water resistant, but it may absorb some water, and you won't realize your shower's leaking because it'll take forever for it to get through that to drop into the basement where you'll see it. However, I don't want shower sound, like water sound, coming through this wall when people are trying to sleep back here. So it was one of those trade-offs. I'll probably end up regretting that. This old window here, that's R15, which is the same stuff as in the kitchen. Insulation. That behind that is a bat of mineral. We tried to pump a bunch of cellulose insulation into this wall, which is why there's 1,000 holes all over it. It didn't work out super well because the machine we had, which we rented from Home Depot, wasn't powerful enough to what they call dense pack it. So the other problem is that this drywall is really weak, and so you can see here where I dense packed it, it actually split the drywall because there's so much pressure from cellulose in here that it popped the wall out. So unfortunately, we're going to have to drywall over this entire wall for sound blockage because it's just not going to survive. It's just going to keep cracking and falling apart. And that sucks because when you put a 1/2 inch drywall on here, which you have to because of fire code, it's going to eat up some of this doorway, which sucks. We also got new windows, which is nice. Let's go in the other thing too while we're in here. While this ceiling was open, Brittany and I decided it would be a good idea. There is insulation in these drop ceilings, so in there, but it was put in there probably in the 70s, and it doesn't help very well with sound deadening. So we rented that cellulose machine. I'll have Brittany put some pictures in here. Blue insulation in both sides here, and then almost halfway into the living room over there. So that once that went in, the sound dampening increased exponentially. So, go in here in the master closet, or what would be the master closet. I'm gonna look at it from this direction. This wall here, any exterior walls you have that you retrofit, you have to fire rate with 5/8 type X drywall. So, in addition to that, you don't have to insulate interior walls. However, I did because I wanted the sound quality. I don't want any sound coming through here. This is the staircase that goes down to the back of the building and then out. And the upstairs people use this as a traffic point multiple times a day. And it's very loud. And so with this sound and fire insulation, this mineral wool stuff, this has cut down on the sound to the point where you almost can't hear it. Once Hugo puts up the drywall, I'm having him put 5/8 here because technically this is a exterior wall between two living spaces. We probably won't be able to hear anything at that point. I took all of the doors, all the interior old doors, which are solid 6-panel. I took them and had them stripped at a furniture store of all the paint so that they're fresh and ready to go. A couple of them will have to be cut down because the new doorways in the bedroom back there and the bathroom are shorter, and the same thing with that one. But it's solid core doors are expensive, and my guy can reuse those doors pretty easily. So we also got new. This is a double hung single window. So this side opens up. This side opens up. This is the new closet. This place is going to have so much storage. It's about 986 square feet in here. And we're building this because if we ever sell this building, we would sell this as the owner-occupied unit. And so this will have the highest quality finishings of everything of the building. I'm on the fence. I'm thinking about changing this window out. It'd be very expensive, probably about $500 from my window guy, because when I get close to it, I can feel a draft coming in here. And I can also, it doesn't sound block very well. One of the big myths out there is that new windows will help with sound and insulation. They don't help as much as actual insulation does. And then we've got two more new windows, one there and one there. And those, I usually budget about $350 or $400 per window just to be safe. If you've got mixed size windows like this, $500 per window is a better way to budget, and then you can be happy when it comes in lower. I don't think I talked about this side of the kitchen setup. So it's gonna be fridge with a water and ice maker, which we haven't had since we left California, which would be nice. Pantry. Originally, before we had this closet in here, we were thinking about doing jackets in this closet, and now we don't need to, but we already bought the cabinets from IKEA. So pantry, then 36-inch lower, 36-inch upper with a countertop, and then another pantry. One thing that's going to be interesting to see is how tight, let's see if I can get my fingers in here, this space here is going to be coming in the door with a pantry that sticks out. I think it's 18 inches, which would be about right there. So it is going to make the space tight, but the hope is that it won't feel super tight because there won't be any uppers up here. So we'll see. That might have been a mistake. This will probably be the last time we go with IKEA, just because we had such a hard time with their supply because of COVID. And then also, every single contractor that I've ever worked with hates IKEA for some reason, and I think it's because they hate putting them together. So Brittany and I volunteered to do that, which is probably going to be a mistake. Yeah, so word to the wise, try not to open walls. Obviously, in this case, it had to be done. This layout here had to be fixed, because if you recall, if you've seen the earlier videos, you had to walk through the bathroom to get to this back bedroom, which is just not acceptable. We're way over budget. And we've hired some questionable people, but our contractor, who is our favorite person, is going to be back on it. And it's his responsibility from here on out. So I believe in him, and we've worked with him on a number of occasions, and I know he's going to do a good job. We've learned a lot, and so we'll just keep pushing forward. That's it.
you enjoyed the tour of our unit. Keep your fingers crossed for us that our renovations now stay on track and that we can move into our unit as soon as possible. Hit the like button if you like this video, share it with a friend if you want to, and stay tuned for the next video because it's going to be another grocery haul. And always remember to be kind to yourself.